It's great to see you all. Great to just have you all in the studios and be able to interview you all. I know you all are doing a lot of great things down south, and I've been following you all for a while. So I'm just glad to have you all in the studios today.
Oh yeah, of course, bro.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So for the people that don't know you all, can you all go ahead and introduce you yourselves?
Yeah, so I'm Justin.
Great.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go ahead and get
it. Okay. And what about you, young lady?
My name is Bianca Brochu.
Okay.
Dope. My name Chef JRob. I'm a chef here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. Came here on the culinary scene for grad school and just been grinding my tail off, trying to make a name for myself out here as a young entrepreneur chef. And my beautiful girlfriend, met her while I was here. And, we just really built a relationship, but also built a business. She has her own wine business. She's your favorite IG sommelier. You don't know
That's dope. I didn't even know how to pronounce it. I was gonna ask. I was like, how do you pronounce it? Because I saw a movie on it. I was like, wait, okay. I was like, okay, this is Netflix. This is what she does. Okay. And I was doing my research. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna butcher that. I'm gonna wait till she pronounces it, and I'm gonna get it down pat.
Like, nah, I got that off my chest.
Yes, sir. Nah, but definitely I'm glad to have you all in the building, and I'm super excited because you all represent what's beautiful in the culture. A dope just couple just thriving and striving for entrepreneurial greatness. And so I definitely wanted to say thank you, first of all, and let's jump straight into the interview. I think one of the big things that I kind of wanted to know is like, how do you all like kind of balance the wine and the food, like basically, pairing? How do you all do that as a couple?
Yeah, you want to take that one though?
Yeah, so basically I go off of him. As with a lot of things, I just go off of him, let him lead for the most part. So he'll give me the menu and I'll decide which wines will pair well with those. But I also ask the clients, what do you prefer? Like, I won't just choose a Cabernet because it goes great with the steak. If you hate dry wine, then you'll be upset with me. So I just it's really off of what the client wants, and then I choose the best pairing from there.
And then on top, we're just doing a lot in life. She's going to get her master's in education. She's teaching on top of being a business owner. And myself, I'm a epidemiologist. And I picked that up because of COVID. COVID definitely put a dent in my business, and I had to keep the money flowing, so I'm a hustler. I get it by all means necessary. So I'm doing epidemiology work, consultant epidemiology work, still doing tax stuff, even though it's in the off season, and then just rock and rolling with this business. So sometimes when it comes to balancing your work life, your social life, your relationship life, and sleep, some things got to take sacrifices. And we're at a point right now where I personally would sacrifice my sleep for success. A lot of people say that's unhealthy, where case I know my body, I know my limits. People got to know how to push yourself to be great. Sometimes you got to do things that other people aren't willing to do, or have that drive that really makes you a different type of animal in your field. So I feel like that energy that I give off, like she said, she receives, and that's what makes people see us as, this great couple, or it's so cool that y'all are doing this together. But it's that energy that we naturally give off in our relationship that I feel makes us so great.
No, that's amazing. And I think that's something that I picked up on because, my mother and my father, they kind of did some of the same things that you all do. My mom wasn't nowhere in the kitchen, but like my dad's a chef. And so like, I think that, some of the things that you do in terms of nutrition and also, being as solid with the meals and also just the advice is something cool. Kind of like, how did you brand yourself, coming out of college, given the fact that you, went to school for a different occupation?
Yeah, that's a great question, bro. So I went to school to be a physician assistant. I got my bachelor's in biomedical sciences and my master's in public health, all for the goal to become a surgical PA. Now, in college, I was cooking when I crossed my fraternity. I'm Alpha. And when we crossed, we had ladies appreciation nights. So when I was cooking for all the ladies, so forth and so on, that's when I got your girl's favorite chef. So that's why I stuck with that tagline, because all the girls on campus like, Jessica can cook. He's a great cook, blah, 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 blah. And naturally, a lot of my clients are female. So that's why I feel like that name stuck. But when I moved to Atlanta and kind of tried to mature a little bit more, that name still sticks, but I just want to progress and be, you know, something better than that title. So that's why I came up with the tagline, Atlanta's Greatest Chef. It's just a methodology that I just feel like I want to live up to. I want to be the greatest in the city. I want to put some of the best cuisine out, you know, in the city. And that keeps me self-motivated, you know.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And this is a question for your girlfriend. I think one of the things that I relate to is Justin is I worked in nightlife in Miami before I moved back up to Virginia. So those are some of the questions, like for me, it's like maturity, trying to, you know, I'm a current grad student. So like, how did you deal with like that basic transition and how did you see the maturity in him as a man?
Oh, wow. It was like, I don't want to say night and day, but from, you peep what stuff before you actually start talking to somebody. You wouldn't talk to them, you know, unless you done vetted the person. So just looking at his Instagram, nothing but females. That's all it was. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, you see it, you take it in, whatever. And I still was willing to, like, just the pursuit on his end. I was like, all right, let's see. I don't feel like he'll waste my time. And then just as our relationship progressed, it was like, in the beginning, there's stuff that he would do. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You know, and now it's stuff that he wouldn't even think twice about. Like, he knows, he had to learn me, what I was okay with, what I was like uncomfortable with. I had to, I mean, I don't feel like I had to accept how he was. I think he had to be willing to change for me. And he did that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love the trust that you all have with each other, and I think that that's something that, you know, as a single man, that I'm definitely trying to, you know, at least build and installing myself as a man, kind of moving forward. I know that faith is a big part of both of you all's lives. Like, how does faith kind of play into the building and the bond that you all have, and hopefully, I know, be husband and wife one day.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I honestly would say that things that picked up so busy, bounce. Like, I work on Sundays on top of trying to squeeze a brunch while I'm on the clock, you know, and I haven't had time to go to church. I haven't had time to watch sermons, but you have to stay faithful in your relationship with God. And I was going to say religious, but I don't even want to say that. You need to be faithful to God. You got to, even though if you don't make a sermon, if you don't go to church, you have to make time for God. You have to make time for the path that he wants you to lead on. And I feel so deeply and passionate about that because of my personal journey. I've been through a lot of junk, you know what I'm saying? Just like anybody else had. Everyone has their own story. But I feel like things that I've been through allowed me to tap in closer in my relationship with God and to allow him to lead the way, not me try to, you know, I think this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the right move. I feel like you put this in my place, I'm going to go with it. It's like really learning how to pray, learning what to ask, learning how to receive the real word and moving about it from that way. And I honestly don't feel like we could progress any further in our relationship if she didn't feel the same way. She didn't still have that same passion and drive with God. Mom is a very humble, religious woman as well as her father. And I love the background and the family that she comes from. So I feel like that's why it's so easy to connect. You know what I'm saying? I've never connected with any of my friends, any of my ex's parents the way I connect with hers because it's just so natural. You know what I'm saying? So fluent and something that seems like it's supposed to be.
That's dope. I love that. And I think that that's kind of something that I think a lot of young men like myself and, you know, men that I try to work with every day need to hear. And that's kind of why I wanted to have both of you all in the studio, because I think that as we evolve in our society today, you all have such a great perspective that could change, you know, entrepreneurs and future generations coming up. So like, that's one of the questions I wanted to dive into is what is a piece of advice that you would give emerging entrepreneur that's a chef or wants to be a wine expert? Because I'm not going to butcher that name again. I'm not going to say it. I just want to. No, I'm not. I'm going to say a wine expert.
I think you have to be comfortable asking questions. Like if you just follow people, and you can even ask me. I don't know everything, but I feel like you have to be comfortable. You need to do your own research. There's so much that you can do on your own, self-study wise. Like even before I ever took certification courses or whatever, I knew a lot of what I already know just off of self-study. And you have to be willing to do that yourself. And you got to be willing to drink a lot of wine to taste it. And yeah, so yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. It's
just
crazy.
study.
I recently switched from, I mean, as I mature in age, I recently switched from liquor to wine, and I couldn't take 2 glasses. I was done after 2 glasses, but I'm
See?
slowly learning. Yeah, I don't know what was going on, but yeah, I went to a few vineyards, and I learned a lot, as kind of just being around, some of my, colleagues. They show me, a lot of things. So I think culture plays a big part in that. And that's kind of led to my next question. Like for food and for wine, how does like culture play, in a part in how you all service the community?
Yeah, I feel like food is the universal language. Everyone can speak food. Mean that like everyone around the world has to cook. And when we travel different places, whether it's for leisure or for purpose, we use it for work trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we have fun, but we dive into our industry in that country, and we take away and absorb all that information and all that knowledge and all that culture and release it onto our clients. We went to Bali and she had this certain wine and I had this certain spice. Well, I'm going to try to mimic it and so forth and so on. And we're going to try to present that to our client in our own way with our own twist. Those experiences. When we go, she took me for my birthday trip. She took me to Aruba, a surprise trip, blew me out the water. And the last day we went on a 5-course dinner. Never in my life have I had a 5-course dinner. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, damn, this is dope. And this was last year. This is exactly a year ago. And I was like, this is how they present it. This is how they maneuver. This is how they talk in between course to keep things flowing. And what do we offer now? A 3-course and a 5-course dinner. And we rock star the 5-course dinner because we didn't experience it. We put our own twist on it and we take it up a notch every single time.
That's dope. That's dope. And I love the way that like you kind of flourished within your industry. And I think one of the things that I saw that was very unique is the brand of like the shirts and the hats that kind of looks like the Atlanta Braves, but then it kind of transitioned to you to look like almost like a partnership with them. It looked like as well, just being able to like leverage that. Talk about like how you leverage just the genius to do that, but also get eyes from like, a major league team like the Atlanta Braves to be like, okay, he's doing his thing, and like you could possibly leverage that for a possible partnership down the road. Talk about how that kind of came about, like just the brand of the clothing from that.
Yeah, bro. So honestly, like again, when I crossed my fraternity, like I was the brains in regards to certain things when it came to party planning, when it came to cooking up ideas, how we're going to do a party, what party we're going to throw, the name of the party. Like that was my niche. I translated that into my bad, brother. I translated that into my brand, and like I just come up with these concepts and these ideas, and I just shoot them over to my friends who are graphic designers and see if they can do it. Don't get me wrong, I could get my butt sued with the Braves logo, and I took it down because of that. I started to develop a lot of traction. I want to do things by the book. A lot of things when you're just starting off and get away with. I thought it was a cool concept. I seen another major shows and brands use the tomahawk. I did my research, and the tomahawk wasn't trademarked from my research. The A was, so that's why I felt comfortable enough to do it, put on the hat. And honestly, I like wearing my stuff. I prefer to wear that over than a Braves hat. So it goes along with the the Atlanta greatest chef, methodology and stuff like that. So, I mean, just honestly, just coming up with cool ideas, saving up the money and just putting it out, for people to have, not really trying to make profit off the merch. I'm just really trying to build my brand and expand my brand through that.
No, that's dope, and I think that kind of hits the hammer hits the nail on and everything, because you talk about that transition, right? You know, you got to a point where you were at a point and you were about to, you know, basically go into that next tax bracket. So like to have that logo is almost like, you know, detrimental to your growth as a brand. So when you do that, like it almost kind of, you know, prohibits you from, you know, moving forward. So how was that transition for you, like, you know, to do that and then take that next step when you kind of created your own, like your own brand, your own just mission statement and luxury?
Yeah, bro. And honestly, it came easy once Bianca started her business, because now you're offering food and wine in a whole experience. It's not just me cooking food and pouring you a glass of water. It's me serving you food, explaining the dish, and then here she comes with this electric opener, pop the top, pour some wine, and she's telling you the region. She's telling you the varietal. She's telling you tannins. She's telling you what type of grape, like the country.
Hey, getting brownie points. Got to get those brownie points.
I be in the kitchen like, God damn, that's a lot of, like, that's, and we're educating our clients, we're educating our audience, and that's what we need as a culture. We need education, proper education on correct information to move forward in life, bro. And that's what makes
awesome.
This is, I feel like, top notch, you know what I'm saying, to compete with. You know, no matter if it's a catering game that's been in the game, who just are all over the place, they're doing corporate, they're completely opposite of us. You get what I'm saying? We can still, if people can sit by side and have our experience and let them do their thing, they'll see that culture into it with that knowledge and that, you know, experience. So I feel like that's what we really strive on.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And that kind of just transitions into the next question, because I think that it was great, you know, for you to cook and to provide these gourmet meals at a collegiate level. And then I've seen you do some meals for Steve Harvey. Trust me, I've been following the brand and I do my due diligence. And it's amazing to see you create this union with Bianca and you're able to have her at your venues and create the wine. So that's one of the things that I wanted to ask Bianca, is that, like, how hard was it to basically learn all that information for, like, all the wines in the world? Because I know that test is hard, and that, like, basically learning all that knowledge is hard. How was that?
So there are different levels to being a sommelier, and I feel like what I've learned now, it just really took, like I said, that self-study. But just like when you're in school and you're writing, I have note cards and I have, like, graphics. I have everything to help me learn what I need to learn. Like, this grape is from this region. This is this. You know, you really just have to study it. There's no way around it. And then when I first started, like, Justin would try to record me talking about, I'm like, no shit, let me look at my notes, you know. And now it's just natural. You really just have to dive into it. There's no other way. Like, you just have to start. And I was so hesitant. My first ever booking with him was for 50 plus people at a very elegant, nice party he did for Valentine's Day. And I was so hesitant to ever just jump in and do it. You're never just gonna be perfect, you know? So once I got that first, had a drink before I did it. But once I got comfortable and I started, it was like, okay, now I'm here and I'm comfortable and I really love it. Like, it's a passion. So that makes a big difference too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I think that it's unique to have you all's brand